It is time to round up a big topic from the week, and chances appear slim today for preventing key Patriot Act anti-terror provisions, including bulk collection of Americans' phone records from expiring at midnight. The Senate is meeting today in an unusual Sunday session, but Kentucky Republican Senator and presidential hopeful Rand Paul plans to stand in the way. He opposes the data collection, a House-backed bill by the White House that remakes the National Security Agency phone collection program is just 3 votes short in the Senate. The Patriot Act is our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can weigh in on Twitter as well. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom is our roundup panel led by our senior legal analyst Chris Tritico, our news analyst Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. So what does this mean for Homeland Security?
Well, it's letting this portion of the Patriot Act expire probably isn't going to really affect national security. Recently, in the last 10 days or so, it was either the FBI or NSA testifying before a Senate committee admitted that the phone data, the bulk collection of phone data has not resulted in not only any prosecutions, it hasn't resulted in any investigations. And so to lose this part of it, I don't think is going to affect national security one iota, Jackie Bally. And with Rand Paul standing, it's an odd mix. The White House wants this. The Democrats in the House and Senate are generally opposed. Most Republicans are in favor of it, but there's a few Republicans like Rand Paul says this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to start off with the same comment. That was astonishing to me. So if that's the case, why do we have this program?
Right.
We need to have a delicate balance. We understand that for intelligence reasons, you do have to get certain information, but we don't want to infringe on our personal freedom. And we did see through the scandal that they were keeping personal information for quite some time. And so this is something that we're going to see ironed out, hopefully, but it's looking like it may not be. Rand Paul has said he is going to do everything that he can to block it, and there are a lot of Democrats who are rallying behind him.
Is this a blow to the president?
Well, it should be. I mean, I think Rand Paul is in the right in this. I think he's not just advocating for this.
What did he just say?
I heard it too.
Look, this is a very serious issue in our country. Like anytime somebody calls it a Patriot Act, we should read it to see if it's really patriotic or not. Because to me, it's not. It takes away a wholesale of our freedoms.
Right.
And I think what Rand Paul's doing is critically important, and he's bridging the divide between Republicans and Democrats on a key issue that should protect our civil rights. I mean, just to the absurdity of it, the House bill that's supposed to replace Patriot Act is called the Freedom Bill. I mean, anytime people start naming these bills, no child left behind, children are going to be left behind. We have to be very mindful and protect our freedoms, and I think Rand Paul's doing a great job.
The president says if the Patriot Act expires, it hurts national security. Is he right?
I think he's wrong. I think he's dead wrong on this issue, and the fact that he's a constitutional lawyer saying it, he should be ashamed of himself.
I agree. I think that's incorrect. However, I think we have to be very careful of the discussions that we're going into it, because we don't want a lot of our information or a lot of this information, we don't want the wrong people to hear what we have to say. So we have to be careful as we go into this debate.
Mitch McConnell is in favor of reauthorizing the Patriot Act. He's going to lose today, too.
Yes, he is. And I think what you're seeing is that people are just fed up. And I think the whole idea of when that scandal first came out, we were so offended by that. And now that FBI agents and other NSA leaders are saying we really don't need it, we're all looking at our leaders and saying, do we really need this?
Why'd we have it in the first place?
And this was really a fight between John Boehner and Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell was in a different place than John Boehner was, and that's why a key provision, which is that bulk data, was out of the mix. And so this debate that we're having is an important one. I think it should be expanded than what it is, because in essence, to me, I want people around the world to hear us debate and argue about this, because that's what the fundamental principle of democracy are. We are in this to try to protect our freedoms, not necessarily to give them away.
What I haven't heard, though, is that they're going to carve this up. In other words, if it doesn't pass today, all of these provisions that are on the chopping block fail today.
I know, and that's disappointing because I do think that there is some place for compromise, but the way that the president has been stating his position, he's saying this is the bill that I want, this is the bill that must get on my desk. And you're hearing Rand Paul and other Democrats saying we don't want any of it. And I do feel that when you hear the others talk, there are pieces that you can they can come up with a compromise.
And what about that? Shouldn't the president have come in and said, look, if you don't want this bulk data thing, let's modify it?
Well, look, it's not as much about the president. I know that we like to say it that way, but it's really between John Boehner and Mitch McConnell. John Boehner actually came out with a compromise bill, which is the Freedom Act, as he calls it, which takes away the bulk data provisions in the Patriot Act, and that's what the House has been kind of pushing on. McConnell doesn't want that. The roadblock in this is Mitch McConnell, because he knows that if Rand Paul is able to take the bulk data out of the mix, that he becomes a hero in the Republican ranks, and he doesn't want that.
Yeah, but the president has inserted himself by having he did give his comments. He did say it's extremely important that this pass. He did say that this was very important for us to maintain our level of intelligence.
And when does what president says has meant anything in the House and the Senate? Really, look, this is a fight between Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, and that's where the showdown happens.
Would the president sign the Freedom Act if the Senate approved it?
I think the president has said that he would.
Oh, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Based on his comments, he would not.
Look, the bulk data issue is he has fledged back and forth on that issue. And when the House came up with the Freedom Act, which gives all of Patriot Act provision with the exception of the bulk data, it seems like the president has sent the signals that he would sign it. What's the obstacle is basically Mitch McConnell, and I think Mitch McConnell doesn't want Rand Paul to be the Republican hero, and that's why he's pushing back.
The president has said that it has to be the Patriot Act. He said he wants that act intact, and he wants that to come across his desk.
We're going to have to leave it right there.